What's going on, everybody? King of Dragons 5000 here, coming at you with another figure review. Today we'll be having a look at the Storm Collectibles 1/12 Action Series Mortal Kombat's Goro. Here we do have Goro in the packaging, and he is quite a beast of a figure. You can see his box is pretty big, barely fits in my studio. So what we're going to do now is actually take a little break, get him opened up, and then we'll have a better look at Goro. So stay tuned, everyone. And so here we have Goro posed and out of the packaging. Before we have a look at the figure, let's actually take a look at what Goro comes with. Goro here does come with two different head sculpts. He comes with a neutral head that he has on him right out of the packaging, and then he comes with an angry expression face, which looks really nice. Goro also does come with two ponytails. He comes with a relaxed ponytail, and then he also does come with one ponytail that is for action poses. Right now he is wearing the relaxed ponytail, which sits really nicely on his back, so it's a really good accessory, and you'll see in the pictures how the action one looks. Goro also does come with 12 hands, 3 sets in total. He comes with a total of 4 fists. He comes with a total of 4 open palm hands. And then he comes with 4 gripping hands. I wanted to say pairs, but it's actually like a set. Goro comes with sets of hands. He also does come with 2 energy effects, which have his fists firing out. And then he also comes with a display stage to actually hold up the fireball effects. So Goro here does come with quite a bit, but it's everything you would expect him to come with. With his accessories out of the way, let's actually move on to his details. And so here we have a closer look at Goro, and like I said, Storm Collectibles did a fantastic job on this figure. It's actually one figure that I have been waiting so long to finally have in hand, and now that I do, I'm so ecstatic. I really do love this figure. You can see they did a really good job painting his eyes. They're that really nice bloodshot red with the slits for the pupils, so that looks really nice. You can see even though this is his supposed neutral face, he still has a serious look on him. His ponytail, like I said, is a separate accessory, so if you want to switch it out for the action ponytail, you can. But it's still a nice accessory, and you can see they did a really good job sculpting it. You can see all the detailing in the hair going all the way down to the tip. Goro also has a really nice skin texture going on. If we can just zoom the camera out just a little bit so you can get a good look at the detailing. I really do love the paint on Goro. It looks so nice. You can see how it's this really dark color, and then the spots going all the way on his back, on the top of his head. Looks really nice. And then as we get to the front, you can see it's a really nice gradation from the dark to the lighter skin, and that's just a really good job on Storm Collectibles. They did a fantastic job on Goro. You can see he has, of course, 4 arms. He has 2 at the top, 2 at the bottom, and he has an elongated torso just to compensate the way his body is designed, which is pretty accurate to how he looks in modern games. I know in Mortal Kombat 9 he had a stumpy torso, but this one looks pretty nice. He also does have these gauntlets on both sets of arms. The top pair and the bottom pair both have gauntlets, and they're done in a gold plastic, and they're weathered really, really nicely. I really do love the weathering effect. It actually looks like metal, and again, I really do love how Storm is able to do that for these figures. He is wearing a red sash or a red belt, and it's made of a softer plastic, so you don't have to worry about it getting in the way. You can see it's done really, really nicely. There's absolutely no paint bleeding on the black or the white, so I really do love that. And one thing I do like is that the belt is actually a separate piece from his trunks. And then you can get right here on his legs, seeing more of that dark spotted pattern. And then it just fades away going into his legs, which they're done really, really nicely, and we'll get on to an issue I have with the figure when we talk about his articulation, but you can see his legs are nicely wrapped, and then he has 2 really big toes on each foot, and they're done really, really nicely. So overall, I am really, really happy with the way this figure came out. It's actually one figure I have been wanting for a very long time, especially when Storm first announced it. So with his detailing out of the way, let's actually get him compared to a few other figures you may have in your collection. And so here we have Goro posed next to a Marvel Legends Cyclops and a DC Multiverse Superman. Here we have Goro posed next to a Marvel Legends Build-A-Figure Infinity War Thanos and a Marvel Legends Colossus. Here we have Goro posed next to a Storm Collectibles Mortal Kombat Ninja. And finally, here we have Goro posed next to a Storm Collectibles Shao Kahn figure. So with the comparisons out of the way, let's actually take a look at Goro's articulation. Now his head is on a dumbbell joint, so he can look up really well, and he can look down pretty well. Although, as you move it, you'll see, and his ponytail does come off a lot, you'll see that when you move his neck, it does want to lift his torso up. So there is that little issue, but it's still a really nice ball joint. He can tilt his head left and right, and of course spins left and right as well. His shoulders are really interesting because we have a ball joint in the shoulder which lets it move forward, back, up, and down. Although we don't get too much downward movement unless you start moving some things around. So we do get some back and forth, up and down movement. We also do get rotation at the shoulder. He has a bicep swivel which works pretty well. Double bend in the elbow, although you'll see that he has a really bulky elbow. We have a ball hinge swivel here at the wrist, so it does go up and down. We can rotate that to go in and out, so whichever way you want to have that. He does have a chest diaphragm joint which goes back about that far, comes forward quite a bit as you can see. And then his second pair of arms, we also do have a ball joint, but it's not as good as the first set, so it just moves forward and back a little, up and down a little, as well as rotates. It would do a full 360 if it wasn't hindered by his other pair of arms. He rotates at the bicep, double bend at the elbow, and again we have the swivel hinge swivel here at the wrist. As far as his torso goes, he can go back about that far, crunches forward about that far. So using all the joints combined, you can see he gets pretty good movement there. His legs are actually really good with the exception of his ankles. His legs go all the way forward, as you can see. They go all the way back as well. A little stiff, you can hear some squeaking, but it's not too bad. They go all the way out. And for a big figure, that's actually a really good thing because you don't get too many big figures that can do that. We also do get some rotation here at the thigh. He has double bend in the knee. No issues there. And now we get to the point where I don't really like this figure, his ankles. As far as his ankle joints, we can go back only that far. And no really forward movement. So his ankles are really limited. We do get some slight pivot, but it's nothing to write home about. He has a toe joint which works really well, but because he has little to no ankle joint, it really doesn't work all too well. And it is a little hassle getting him to stand, but once you have him in a position, he'll stand just fine. You do have to compensate with the fact that his ankles don't have too much articulation, and when you have him standing straight up, he does have a tendency to lean back, so you might have to compensate and move him forward a little bit. As you can see, his balance right there. So posing him isn't impossible, you just gotta know what you're doing and work around it. But other than that, I still love the way this figure came out. So what we're going to do now is take a little break, get him posed for my final thoughts, and then we'll wrap up this review. And so here we have Goro posed for my final thoughts. Overall, I still think this is a really nice figure, despite the fact he has some issues with articulation, especially in the feet. Like I said, if you are able to maneuver his joints properly, you can compensate for the lack of ankles. Although having a figure this big, he really would have needed better ankle articulation. If there's one thing to take away from this figure, it's that his ankles suck. Otherwise, he's still almost a perfect figure. If you're a Mortal Kombat fan, you're going to want to have this guy in your collection. He looks great standing next to Shao Kahn and beating up your ninjas. He's just a really nice figure to have, and he has a really nice shelf presence. You can even leave him on a coffee table and somebody will definitely ask questions about Goro if they don't know about him. Any Mortal Kombat fan should pick this guy up. I did pick my Goro up on Big Bad Toy Store, where he is about $100 shipped. That means $100 with shipping. That's a pretty fair pricing as how he is a massive figure, although I think the ankles could have been done just a tiny bit better just to compensate with how big this guy is. I don't think Storm took that into consideration, but that's not taking away from how amazing this figure actually came out. With that being said, guys, I'm King of Dragons 5000. Don't forget to like this video, leave a comment, subscribe to my channel. Go ahead and check out all my other Storm collectible videos, as well as all my Mortal Kombat reviews. Hopefully you find them informative. As always, if there's a figure you would like to see me review, let me know down in the comments, and if it fits in my collection, I'll definitely have a look at it. Until next time, guys, I'll see you later. Take care, everyone.